Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on our channel English Bridge. I'm Usama. In today's video we're going to talk about object and subject questions. We're going to learn about the difference between them and how we make them. Stay with us. Welcome back again. So as usual, don't forget to check your answer for the last test in the description box. And now let's start. First, let's start with the difference between subject questions and objects. What is an object question? What is a subject question? An object question is the question that we ask to know about the things that happened after the verb. Alright, so for example, Ahmed went to. Ahmed went to. Here I don't know the place Ahmed went to. So if I want to ask a question or make a question, we need to use an object question in this case. Another example, for example, David studies in. David studies in. And then we have a place, but I don't know the place. So if I want to ask about the place, like it's in London, in the USA, in Cambridge University, etc., I need to make a question using an object question. All right? And the last sentence, for example, my brother is talking to. My brother is talking to. And here I want to ask about the person my brother is talking to. And I don't know it. So in this case, again, we make an object question. Why? Because all these things that I'm asking about, they are happening after the verb, not before the verb. This is an object question. Now, what is a subject question? The subject question is the question that we ask when we don't know the person or the thing that did the action. For example, somebody bought the vegetables for the house, but I don't know the person who bought the vegetables for the house. Now, if I want to ask about this, the person who bought, we use a subject question. Why? Because he or she is the person who buy or bought, all right? Another example, you enter the house and you saw the food is ready and you want to ask about the person who cooked the food. So if you want to ask, you need to use a subject question. Why? Because this person is the person who did the action of cooking, all right? So in this case, we use a subject question. One more example, somebody went to the market to buy some stuffs for the house, but you don't know the person, like is it your brother, is it your father? So in this case, if you want to ask, again, you need to use subject question. Why? Because you are asking about the person who went or who did the action of going. All right? So this is subject question and object question. Now, what's the difference between them or how we make these questions? First, let's start with object question. We make an object question like normal way by using WH first, followed by an auxiliary or a modal verb, and then we use subject and then the verb. The verb can be with ing, it can be verb 3, etc. because it depends on the tense. So an example, Ahmed went to, and then we need a place. So if I don't know the place, I want to ask about it, I will use this formula. Where did Ahmed go to? Where did Ahmed go to? All right. So here WH is where, and then we have did because we are asking about simple past action. Then we have the subject which is Ahmed, and then we have the verb which is go. Another example, you were at home and your brother came in, but you don't know the place your brother was in. Okay, so you want to ask about the place. You ask him by this. Where have you been? Where have you been? So the WH question is where, then we have an auxiliary which is have. Then we have the subject, you, because you're asking your brother, and then we have been, which is the verb. Again, as you know, both these sentences or examples, we know the person who did the action, but we don't know about what happened after the action, all right? So in this case, we are asking object questions. Now let's move to subject question. In subject question, when we make a questions, first of all, we don't use any auxiliary like do, does, or did in simple present or past simple tense, all right? And the second thing is, subject questions are same form, we use the same form as the positive sentence. For example, Ahmed bought lots of things for the house. Ahmed bought lots of things for the house. If we don't know the person who bought and we want to ask about it, we just delete the person, which is Ahmed, and then we put a question suitable for this, which is who. So we say who bought lots of things for the house. Another example, you know that there is a person writes the report for the company every month, but you don't know the person who writes, okay? So the person who does the action of writing, and you want to ask about it. So we put a WH questions, which is like we are asking about people, we use who, and then you complete the sentence. So who, and then follow it by verb, who writes the report for the company every month. All right? So no changing, no do, does, or did in this type of questions. One more example. You entered the house and you went to the kitchen and you saw a cake there. And you tasted and it was really nice. You liked it. And you want to ask about the person who made this cake. So if you want to ask about this, you need to use a subject question because you don't know the person or the thing that did the action of cooking or making. So we say, who made this cake? Who made this cake? All right? So again, as I said, we don't use do, does, or did, or we don't change anything in the sentence when we make a subject question. One last point to mention here is when we use subject question with present simple tense and we want to ask about a person or anything using subject question, we use the verb as a singular verb. So for, like in present simple, we use subject verb with S when we have he, she, it. So when you are making subject question, we use WH question and then we use the verb with S. For example, who writes the report, not who write the report. Who buys the vegetables for the house, not who buy the vegetable for the house. Be careful about this point. And that's everything about subject and object question, the difference between them and how we make them. As usual, there will be a test for you in the description. Check it to make sure of your understanding. And if you like this video, like, share and subscribe to get everything new. See you in the next video.